at resourceableshow.com. Duval County School Board Superintendent Dr. Education. Co
media, and she's been threatened by Iran, as she has explained herself. It all began when who resides in the U.S., undertook a special tour to several European countries just a few days ago to argue the need to define the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization. After meeting with Europe's leaders, such as French President Emmanuel Macron and Dutch PM Mark Rutte, Ahmadinejad has traveled to the UK, and it is there where threats to her life came from the Iranian regime who have been detected, which London's Metropolitan Police consider a serious and credible. According to The Guardian, as a result of the situation, the UK has decided for 24-hour protections for her during her stay in the country to prevent any aggression. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
The last story I want to touch on before we get to a commercial break and lead into your impactful moment is sargassum seaweed plagues Florida beaches, causing a smell on the shores. So you know there's always a low tide smell when you're riding out towards the seacoast islands, right?
Sargassum.
Yes. Not sarcastic asm. Sargasm. So, to the disappointment of Floridians and vacationers alike, a record-breaking giant blob of smelly and annoying sargassum seaweed has reached the shores of the Sunshine State after traveling for weeks over the open sea. Piles of the stuff is an accumulation of large brown algae that kind of floats in mass quantities. It can stretch for miles across the ocean and are beneficial habitats for marine species like fish, sea turtles, crabs, and shrimp. But the massive trunks are an annoyance for beachgoers when a stinky mass reaches the shore and the overabundant lumps of seaweed emit the foul, pungent scent of hydrogen sulfide as they decompose. The unbearable smell, comparable to rotten eggs, has even been known to cause respiratory issues for those with breathing problems. Right, and this amount is going to reach its peak blooms during the month of June and July, right when everybody's trying to go to the beach. So, you guys, when you're out there at the beach, if you see these large piles of brown algae, if you smell something, it is just this seaweed that is obviously helping the ocean, but it may not be helping our tourism.
Yeah, we always blame the low tide on the kids when we driving up the bridge.
See, I'm not even going to go that far. We are up against a commercial break. When we come back, we will have an impact moment with the Reverend J Frederick that you don't want to miss. See you in a little bit.
Say we play the kingdom. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Impact Radio Show brought to you by the Florida Star. I am bringing you your impact moment, Reverend J Frederick, brought to you by Kingdom Builders Initiative Group. And today, everybody, I've been thinking about something all week long that's been on my mind.
What you been thinking about, CJ?
So, you be doing the most when it comes to venerating a lot of these church leaders and stuff like that.
Ooh, you're talking about what happened on Facebook. What happened on Facebook?
Because see, the thing about it is that when Jesus walked the earth,
mm-hmm.
And people were like, "Hey, man, I will follow you wherever you go." Mm-hmm. He didn't stand there and say, "Well, we got our room over at the Omni. We're gonna have the presidential suite upstairs." He said that the Son of Man, foxes have holes, birds have, nests, but the Son of Man does not have a place to lay his head. And then y'all know the story. The more and more superficial reasons start following. So, if I could give, an impactful statement, to those, who practice leadership and who are serving as the underrows in the church, is that your position is where you are, not who you are. Think about it. A position usually notates where you are.
That's true. Like in military, right?
You're right.
People, they figure out where their position is on the
map. You have people that think that because they're in the position of pastor, that they should be venerated in honor of everybody else around them because of where they are. And a lot of times when we find ourselves in high places in God, where we are has nothing to do with who we are. Because when you look at the apostles, we talking about fishermen, tax collectors, zealots, gang members, thieves, where they were. had really little to do with who they were, had everything to do with whose they were.
That's true.
So, the whole world seems to be in an identity crisis, and sometimes these positions, are just kind of like pronouns. Don't talk to me unless you identify me as anointed, gifted, chief apostle. Paul never introduced himself as Apostle Paul. He was always Paul, an apostle. He realized that who he was and where he was two different things. I know for a fact that when I find myself in great places like I was, the other day sitting down in front of a lot of dignitary people talking about heirs property, that has nothing to do with who I am. That has to do with I was put there because of the grace of the people that I know. Grace is a reason why a lot of people find themselves in great positions. David was a ruddy joker, but because he had a heart after God's own heart, he was placed in the position of king.
Amen.
Moses was a coward that stuttered, but because he recognized who he was put in a position of a patriarch of a faith. But a lot of times we get into these positions, and if y'all got black parents like I do, my mom will always tell me, like, don't let that little position of minister go to your head and you forget who you are. She never tell me, when I got somewhere, to remember where I am. She always say, don't forget where you came from, because a lot of times where you came from will identify you more than where you are today.
Right.
So people, please remember that positions and titles, it's where you are, because when you strip away the position and you strip away the title, we all got to answer the same questions. We all got to give the same accountability to the same God on the same level. Because when we hit the gates, I guarantee you, he's not going to call you Reverend Apostle CJ, come here. This is going to be Carl. And then the person behind you ain't going to be auntie, mother of the church. You're going to be Susan.
Yeah.
So don't let these, so my way to impact you today is to remember you are where you are because of grace. You are in the position to impact your community because of God's favor. Do not let favor that came to you not by your own merit, by your own effort, blow your head up into thinking that where you are is who you are.
Right.
And this has been your Impactful Moment brought to you by Kingdom Builders Initiative Group and your African gentleman.
What African gentleman got going on?
So African gentleman is going to be hanging out off of Suit Tail this weekend.
Okay.
We are going to be part of a Joyful Resistance community block party.
Ooh,
we're going to be
Joyful Resistance.
Joyful Resistance. So
what does that mean?
So it says, let's cheer the end of legislative session and celebrate the leaders that fight for our freedoms, and we, the people who will never give up. Together, it's build Florida all. It's an attempt to build up the North Side. There's going to be speakers out there. There's going to be music and DJs, and most important, vendors like your African gentleman and African lady will be in attendance. So this Saturday, May 13th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., come out to 5097 Sutowel Drive, and we're going to be out there, vendors, music, more. It's a resistance block party.
So where is 5097 Sutowel? Just roundabout area.
So it is across the street from the Legend Center.
Okay.
Over there about Atlanta Miller Park.
All right. So the
right down the street from Carolina Chicken.
Okay, on that side. Not on the Harvey side.
No, not on the Harvey side.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to see. All right. So we're gonna be out there.
But don't go to the Tunis. Come. No, I'm joking.
Ooh. Go out and see what's going on. There's actually something else happening at the Legend Center that day. I saw it had to do with teens. So moms, if you have some teens and they're looking into, I think it's either resume writing or helping them find a job, please bring your babies out to the Legend Center this Saturday. There's a couple of other things happening in the community. We're up against another commercial break, however. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the other things that are happening in the community with our little Thursday rundown for the weekend. And then we will be on our way back to the house, guys. Pray for us. This is the last full month of school, and
we're 2 weeks stretch, but we got a vacation coming.
We do, but my goodness, it's getting harder. I get the kids. It's getting harder and harder to get them up and get them out.
So y'all don't hear our voice Memorial Day weekend. You know
my goodness! But after this break, we will finish up the events in the area that you do not want to miss. Finish yours. This is just, you gotta talk. Kingdom Builders today. Hey.
Gotta do a voiceover for it.
You know what I'm saying? Faith and construction.
Hey, everybody, y'all are watching the live. Y'all can still check Kingdom Builders out. We are putting together some things. I know, we've been, off and on, but we staying busy.
Staying strong. Kingdom Builders going on. Ow! Thank you. That was your theme song.
Hey. Event rundown. Hey, let anybody know if you would like to sponsor the event rundown, you can reach out to Miss Do and Talk herself, and she will let you know how you can be the sponsor of our rundown. So it is Mama's Day weekend, and there should be some stuff going on.
Most definitely. CJ, what you know going on?
So something that I enjoyed the last time he was down here. It is an evening with Omari Dillard, soul violinist, happening at the Ritz this Sunday from 6 to 8. Maybe after I get through grilling these oxtails and pineapples for these people, they'll let us out to go check out the moms.
Thank you, baby.
Hey, another fun thing that is going on is R&B Mostly's this Mother's Day weekend, going on this Saturday from 9:30 p.m. R&B is always a fun thing, live music. It is happening at 8136 Atlantic Boulevard, Jacksonville, Florida 32211.
Just to reiterate to everybody, the vote for mayor, city council members, and property appraiser is happening, guys. Early voting happens until the 14th, and then the general election is on the 16th. So if you're not able to early vote, you'll have an opportunity to go specifically to your precinct on the 16th till 7 p.m. that day. And make sure you let your voice be heard.
Yes, and tomorrow at 6 p.m., Illuminates Summer Spectacle is happening at the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens. That sounds like it definitely should be fun. And yes, definitely should be fun. And there's also a downtown market, May 13th. 2023 this Saturday at the Downtown Day Market at the Bridge Connect.
Oh, one bridge. This Mother's Day, if you haven't heard from anyone, which I'm sure you have, you will hear it here. Shirley Caesar, Marvin Sapp, and Andrea Johnson.
Is that all I can say when I get
has a Mother's Day celebration, right? May 13th, guys. Tickets start at $60 at the Potter's House. Also, for free, Be My Neighbor Day. If you know who Fred Rogers is, if you know who Daniel Tiger is, come on out to WJCT Public Media for a fun-filled festival celebrating Daniel Tiger's neighborhood and learning how to be a caring neighbor. Guys, it's a 4-hour event, guys, and it's timed. Tickets are for entry, so you have to sign up, but it is a free event. You can decorate placemats, you can meet helpers and learn how you can help too, and write a thank you note. They get to make a bookmark and pledge to do something nice for a neighbor. Please, please, please take the babies out. Get them out the house. It's free. They want to see the children. It starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday.
And there is the 3rd annual Emancipation Celebration at JWJ Park.
That's on the 20th.
That's on the 20th. So we'll remind y'all about this. Hey, but while we still have time, I do again want to remind y'all to come out right across the street from the Legend Center for the Resistance Block Party. Your African gentleman and African lady will be out there. We will have speakers. We will have food trucks, DJs, and more.
Yeah, that's really going to be a great event. And I know Angie Nixon and the people in that area are planning to do a lot more because they have something planned for the 20th as well. Is that right, CJ?
Yes.
In the same area, if I'm not mistaken. So the north side, guys, north side of Jacksonville, that's not too far from those of you in Yulee, Callahan. People out there in Kingsland, y'all often drive down to Jacksonville for a party. Right? You can drive down to Jacksonville to celebrate, just to the north side. You don't even have to drive through town. You just get right on off 95, or if you're coming down Lynn Turner, Kings Road.
Yeah. Usually we are, down there, being the whole vibe as, as we know.
Yeah, you guys will definitely get a chance to see us, shake our hands, say, hey, you heard us on the show. You want to be on the show. You know the show. What have you? You like the Victory Station? Because we sure do love the Victory Station.
Yeah, so that is the Joyful Resistance Community Block Party this Saturday, the 13th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 5097 Sutel Drive, Jacksonville, Florida, 32208.
All right, guys. And another shout out, which we didn't do last week, but we meant to. Shout out to DJ Will. We haven't seen him in a while. He's dealing with his family, and we miss you, brother. But we have been taken good care of by the rest of the people at the Victory Station, and we are so very thankful to all their help and assistance and accommodation when we got kids and everything.
A lot of them.
We are so thankful.
I feel like the NBA playoffs is at our house because we got a whole starting 5, and we even got a center, a point guard. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. But hey, guys, we wanted to let you guys know that if you are anytime interested in submitting articles to the Florida Star, please hit Miss Doing Talk Davis on all social media platforms. And hey, we are always looking for sponsors for our event rundown. Yeah. We also want you to please ask your favorite business.
Yes.
To carry current issues of the Florida Star, so you can stay up to date on your independent news. So all your favorite food trucks, your favorite grocery stores, ask them why they ain't got the Florida Star.
Come on now.
Tell them to call OPO.
Call OPO. Everybody know OPO. So much gratitude to you all for listening to us, to our writers and producers. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, the Florida Star, our partners, the Ritz Theater and Museum, African Lady, African Gentleman, Kingdom Builders Initiative Group, Do and Talk. A special thanks to you, CJ, for the impactful moment and reminding us to kind of put that ego aside when it comes to title. Yeah, it's good. You got the titles, but
you should. If you ask somebody their name and they give you a title first red flag.
All right, we're gonna have to get back with you. Follow him on the social medias too. Find Reverend Carl Frederick on Facebook. And once again, my name is Vanessa Davis. You can find me at do_and_talk on all your major social media platforms. You can also email me at admin@doandtalk.com.
Yes, and of course, like she said, I am Carl Frederick. You can find me, African Gentleman, on Facebook and African_Gentleman13. We just got some new handbags in from Ghana, so remember, come down this weekend. Y'all looking for some last minute Mother's Day gifts.
Yes, and just a shout out to those listening to us on Clubhouse. We tried something out today, and we were live on the Gullah Geechee platform in the lounge on Clubhouse. So shout out to Clubhouse. And now back to your regularly scheduled gospel music. Oh, hey, whoa, ooh.
You gotta create one of them slides for African Gentleman. But we got all the new logos and stuff. I miss Les Chons.
Right.